In the quiet town of Havenwood, where secrets were said to linger in the dusty attics and damp basements of its old houses, a young boy named Leo discovered something that should not exist. Leo, a teenager with an insatiable curiosity for puzzles and a love for forgotten objects, often spent his weekends exploring the neglected corners of his family's ancestral home. It was on one such afternoon, with dust motes dancing and the single sunbeam piercing the gloom, that he found it. Tucked away beneath a stained canvas sheet was an antique clock, its mahogany case intricately carved with symbols he didn't recognize, and its brass pendulum frozen in silence. There was no key, no visible mechanism to wind it, yet as he wiped away a layer of grime from its glass face, its hands, long and slender, shuddered to life. They began to move, not forward, but backward. At first, Leo dismissed it as a mechanical quirk, a charming flaw in a forgotten relic. He watched, fascinated, as the minute hand crawled counterclockwise, each tick a soft, resonant click that seemed to absorb the silence of the attic. But as he glanced out the small, grimy window, he noticed something odd. The world outside, the familiar tableau of his quiet street, seemed subtly different. A neighbor who had just driven past his house moments ago appeared again, pulling into their driveway in the exact same manner. A flock of birds that had scattered from the old oak tree suddenly reformed and flew backward into its branches. It was almost imperceptible, like a glitch in a film, but it was happening. The clock wasn't just counting time backward, it was pulling the world back with it, one tick at a time. An unnerving sense of wrongness began to creep over Leo, a feeling that the very fabric of his reality was fraying at the edges. Felt disjointed, broken. Downstairs, his mother hummed the same tune she had finished minutes before, starting it over from the first note as if caught in a loop. Outside, shadows stretched and shortened in defiance of the sun's position, sometimes darting back to their origins as if startled. People on the street would repeat small gestures, a wave, a turn of the head, a dropped parcel that fell and then flew back into their hands. It was a subtle madness, a world stuttering and rewinding in tiny, almost unnoticeable increments. The quiet town, once a bastion of predictable monotony, now felt like a stage where the actors were being forced to repeat their lines, and only Leo seemed to have a copy of the original script. The clock was the epicenter of this temporal disturbance. Its presence was magnetic, drawing Leo in with an almost hypnotic pull. He would spend hours in the attic, watching its hands sweep backward, mesmerized by the soft, rhythmic ticking that echoed in his chest. Each tick felt significant, a stone dropped into the pond of reality, sending out ripples of change. He started to notice smaller, more personal alterations. A history book on his desk was suddenly filled with events that had been forgotten by the world, but which he vaguely remembered learning. Conversations he'd had with friends would replay, but with slight variations, as if they were trying a different take. Objects would manifest or vanish. A cracked coffee mug he'd thrown away last week reappeared on the kitchen counter, whole and pristine, while a new photograph of his sister mysteriously vanished from its frame. Driven by a mix of fear and an unyielding desire to understand, Leo reached out and placed his hand on the cool, smooth wood of the clock's casing. The moment his fingers made contact, the world dissolved. The dusty attic, the ticking, the very sensation of solid ground vanished, replaced by a dizzying rush of images and sounds. He wasn't just observing the past anymore, he was in it. He found himself standing on a familiar street corner, but the storefronts were different, the cars antiquated. A younger version of his own father walked past, whistling a tune Leo had never heard. Then, the scene shifted. The colors of the world bled into surreal, dreamlike palettes, the sky turning a deep violet as the town's familiar buildings twisted and reformed into impossible shapes. He was a ghost, witnessing echoes of past events, conversations spoken decades ago whispering in his ear like the wind. He was seeing Havenwood not just as it was, but as it had been, and perhaps as it could have been in 1,000 parallel timelines. With each journey, each surreal plunge into a shifting reality, a profound realization began to dawn on Leo. The clock was not merely a passive observer of time, nor was it simply a machine gone haywire. Its intricate design, the way it responded to his touch, the specific moments it showed him, it all felt deliberate. It was a test, or maybe it was a key, a tool left behind to mend something broken within the town's history, a hidden wound that festered just beneath the surface of the present. The strange rumors of Havenwood, the sense of a lingering past that had always hung in the air, suddenly seemed less like folklore and more like a symptom of a temporal sickness. And this clock, this impossible, backward-counting machine, was either the cause or the cure. The choice now rested on his shoulders, a weight far heavier than any antique object. He held the power to potentially restore the timeline, to force the hands of the clock forward and return Havenwood to its comfortable, predictable state. He could erase the loops, fix the shadows, and make the world right again. But another, more tempting path lay open before him. He could continue to explore its power, to journey through the endless corridors of what was and what if. He could uncover the town's deepest secrets, understand the source of its melancholy, and perhaps even alter events for the better or for the worse. The temptation to play God with the fragments of time was a powerful lure. The question was no longer just about fixing a broken reality, but about whether he had the right to become its new architect. He stood in the attic, the world outside holding its breath, waiting for his decision. Did he dare to mend the timeline, or would he delve deeper into the mystery, risking the very nature of his own existence? As the scene fades, leaving Leo caught between two impossible choices, we are left to wonder, was this a journey through time, a literal rewinding of history? Or was it something far stranger, a glimpse into a reality where past, present, and future are not a straight line, but a tangled, beautiful, and terrifying knot? The silence that follows is not empty. If you listen closely, you can still hear it, a faint, rhythmic ticking, a soft and steady click. Click, click, a chilling promise that the clock story is far from over.